Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Controlling religious education. The government is poised to take control over who should teach in religious schools in an upcoming Supreme Court case. The Obama administration is specifically asking the Justice Department to throw out the precedent that favors religious organizations and allows them to choose who is qualified to teach their students. In the case of Hosanna Tabor Evangelical Lutheran Church and School versus the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the school is holding that it had every right to fire Cheryl Perrick, while she claims the, quote, ministerial exception should only apply to clerics. She has challenged Hosanna Tabor's decision to fire her in both her first court battle and in the 6th District Court of Appeals, and the appellate court ruled in her favor. The Obama administration has filed a brief in the case telling the Department of Justice that regardless of what the Supreme Court rules, the 40-year-old exemption should not apply to teachers in religious schools. Well, if the law does get struck down, there is at least one other case that will need to be reversed as a result. Employer's choice. 3 fired employees who sued World Vision in 2007 are being told, tough luck. The Supreme Court will let stand an original court ruling that the organization fighting poverty and injustice around the world can indeed fire employees who don't accept its Christian doctrinal statement. The sacked plaintiffs argued in their suit that the company's main focus was relief, so it shouldn't be allowed to hire only believers in Christianity. The company's U.S. President, Richard Stern, calls this case a great victory for religious organizations who seek to hire people who share the same faith, while reiterating that World Vision's hiring policy is imperative to its mission to serve the poor as followers of Jesus Christ. Bead Ban. Schools all over the United States have been fighting over banning rosaries, and now the conflict has come to Fremont, Nebraska. The Associated Press reports the school district is banning any necklace that even looks like a rosary, after police told school officials that they are being worn by gang members. Archdiocese spokesman Father Joseph Taphorn says Christians shouldn't have to give up a symbol of their faith simply because others misuse it, while, strangely enough, the American Civil Liberties Union is piping up to point out that this is indeed a violation of religious and free speech rights. A young girl was actually told that she was not allowed to come to school wearing the blessed beads, and they say that they are very upset that their daughter is being discriminated against. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
IRS Scrutiny. The group Americans United for Separation of Church and State, or AU, is calling on the Internal Revenue Service to investigate a church in Tennessee simply for supporting a pro-family organization. Rob Boston, a director of AU, says, quote, "A church cannot link or direct people to an organization telling people how to vote. All nonprofits, including churches, cannot endorse or oppose candidates. The IRS does warn nonprofits about linking to campaign-related websites." End quote. The church, Bellevue Baptist in Cordova, simply posted a link to a pro-family organization on its page, and the blog American Vision points out that the First Amendment is actually a restriction on the government, not on churches expressing their own opinion. While the IRS commissioners did threaten churches with loss of their tax-exempt status if they spoke out on political issues, it is very unlikely that such a stance would stand in court. DOMA defiled by repeal. Even though the Obama administration says that military chaplains can perform same-sex marriage ceremonies anywhere, such violations of the Defense of Marriage Act will not take place at West Point's Catholic Chapel of the Most Holy Trinity. Director of Public Affairs and Media Relations for the Archdiocese for Military Services, Taylor Henry, simply says, quote, The answer is no. Archbishop Broglio of the Archdiocese denounced the Pentagon's statement violating DOMA last week, pointing out that the law still remains in effect. As of 2008, there were 285 Roman Catholic priests certified for active duty in the armed services. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out The Vortex today, where Michael talks about Obama versus Dolan. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.